It's time to sow the seeds for winter barley here in eastern Georgia. Gela Tetrauli is worried. It hasn't rained here in weeks. His seeds are top quality, but that won't mean much if growing conditions are poor.
The red, see? They've been specially treated against pests and disease. But that didn't help last year either. Half of my fields were useless. It was the wind, it blew away the soil.
Winds are strong here in the valley at the foot of the Lesser Caucasus Mountains. Wind speeds of 50 to 60 kilometers an hour are commonplace here. Overgrazing was already a problem in the Soviet era. And even back then, the local farmers were trying to slow down soil erosion.
There were collective farms here who had a few trained agriculturalists. The rest of us, we were farmers who just followed the instructions they gave us. Not people with agricultural degrees, but simple farmers. Nowadays, we have to start learning from scratch. For example, that we need windbreaks. We have a few already, back over there.
The dark soil in the valley is very fertile, but when the wind blows it away, the mineral-rich upper layer of soil goes with it. Now some new windbreaks are being planted here, with financial assistance from Germany. They are ash, wild pear, and other fast-growing trees, which are encased to protect them from the cattle that graze here. The protective casings are made of biodegradable and organic plastic, which will dissolve within 3 years. They act as a miniature greenhouse for the fledgling trees. Gela Tetrauli learned these methods for combating soil erosion in Germany. 2 months before, he and a few other farmers from Georgia paid a visit to some farmers in central Germany.
We're quite a bit behind agriculturally. The Germans are at least 10 years ahead of us. And when we catch up with the Germans, then they'll be 10 more years ahead of us. It's just like the mountains. Once you've climbed the first one, the next one is already there to greet you.
Here on a farm near Frankfurt, the Georgian farmers learned about modern methods of soil conservation. Hans Kellner is an experienced farmer and had a lot to teach them.
Look at the field here. There's plenty of empty space where no wheat is growing. Just like right here, or over here. You don't need to have your entire surface covered in wheat. The important thing is having sturdy plants, like this here.
Modern cultivation methods and careful tending help preserve the soil. Hans Kellner also doesn't use a traditional plow. He uses harrows and cultivators to loosen only the top layer of soil. And the remnants of the last harvest are worked into the ground, with excellent results. The yield here is 4 to 5 times higher than in Georgia. A perfect and loss-minimizing process from the sowing to the storage of the grain.
The problem is you have to be present all the time. You have to be here to give them instructions every step of the way. They can't judge yet when it's the right moment to start spreading fertilizer for treatment of the plants and for getting rid of weeds. That's why I've come out here every month for the past 18 months. I'll probably do that next year too. That way they slowly get a feeling for it and learn how to do it.
Cha-cha, a Georgian schnapps, to toast a successful visit to Germany. And the return visit to Georgia. 2 months later, Hans Kellner is about to pay a visit to his Georgian counterpart.
We're going to a field where they're planting winter barley.
Just like in Germany, Gela Tetrauli is preparing the soil without deep plowing. Loosening the soil in this gentle way helps preserve what little moisture is left in the soil. That will help the new seedlings. And once the plants are sturdy enough, they will help provide natural protection against soil erosion.
We're hoping for a good harvest, of course. Thanks to our collaboration with Germany, we harvested up to 6 tons per hectare last year. If you keep in mind that we used to harvest 2.5 at most, it's a huge success.
Right now, only about a dozen farmers here are using these soil-conserving methods, but their success is the talk of Georgia.